Butter Money Cash is back. I'm back with some butter coffee, and I found out that the most interesting ideas in these videos are usually near the end. I don't know if I should actually cut the beginning and go straight into the end in editing. That'd be a great idea to just. And usually the second half, it's crazy because the second half of the video is usually the best part of the video, but nobody gets there and nobody watches these videos anyway. So, yeah, that's the main topic of today. It kind of feels as if I am the slowest growing YouTube channel out there. But it doesn't matter. I'm just happy to share my ideas to develop as a person while I'm creating videos. Plus, it makes me really, really happy to know that I'm not having this equipment for nothing. And I've also developed as a content creator. I can speak better. Well, if you can call this better. But I think for the first video of the day, it's quite good. I am kind of playing with fire with this new positions of the camera. I almost dropped my glasses because of the wires, and I almost dropped the camera a few times. I feel a bit stuffed once again because last night I went drinking a bit and then I ate very late some fruits, some chips, and some meat, and not some chips, some crackers. And yeah, it kind of feels a bit like I'm not really there anymore. I need some more coffee. Who needs some coffee? Butter coffee, baby. I don't know. It's weird to think about because it's strange to think about in what direction I should go with the channels, with the content, with developing the personality, the on camera presence. Let's not call it personality because people would think that I'm not having a personality. If you can call this a personality. So I don't really know in what direction should I go to get more successful. It's not apparent at the moment. However, the 30-day meditation challenge has gotten a bit of traction. You know what's weird? People don't, you know how I know that people don't really care and don't really pay any attention is because they don't comment, they just watch. So, to all of you lurkers out there, this is your time to give your first YouTube comment. But yeah, I think a video about how to deal with people not watching and not listening and not paying attention would be interesting. In a sense, I use this word too much. I've noticed that I use, in a certain sense, um, it's kind of, I used to tell myself it's good that people don't watch, people are not paying attention because one is their loss. They are losing on the fact that I'm doing something completely different than everybody else and using YouTube in a different way. And two, by the time they are watching, everything will be so much better. So the audience will come once the content becomes better, and they're not going to see the blunders and the things that I did in the beginning and where I didn't find my words to speak proper English. So, yeah, I actually questioned myself and asked myself how many videos will it take to give up on this whole thing? And I actually said about 500, but I think I revised my estimate because 500 is way too attainable. Can you imagine just creating 500 videos? Even though I'm not really creating 500 videos because it's not, some of them have 2 minutes of talk, 3 minutes of talk, but still, some of them have 40 minutes of talking. Like these videos, some of them are very, very long. And when I start talking, and then if I have the energy and I find a nice, interesting thread to pull on and to talk about, then it's very hard for me to just shut up about it. So yeah, I'd say until now I've done about, I think, 120, 110 videos, which is interesting. I didn't feel like I did 120 or 150. Well, 120, I think it's closer to 120 videos. It didn't feel like that. I already have like 35, 37 actually on this channel. This is number 37. And on the other channel, I posted twice or more than twice a day. So, and on the other channel, I have 4 videos, and on the other channel, I have 2 videos. So that's a lot. That's about 110, 120 videos. And I still have scheduled some videos, like 6 or 7 videos. So, yeah, it adds up. Plus about 120 shorts as well. The shorts, it really felt like I worked for them because I had to edit about 50 of them and then post them and then schedule them. And I did those repetitions so many times. I was doing the same thing so many times, making titles, editing them, posting them, uploading them, that it was grueling, even though it was like less than 45 minutes in total. So, or maybe an hour. I don't know. But it's okay for 50 shorts. I don't have to do shorts for 2 weeks anymore. Post 2 shorts every day. They are good. They bring on a few viewers. Some of them bring subscribers. So that's good. I'm almost done with the coffee, so the conversation will almost end. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. How do I feel? I feel a bit droopy. I'm not yet awake. The coffee has not kicked in. And I am a bit demoralized about the fact that I was kind of sneakily hoping that one of these channels would blow up and will get a lot of views. I was kind of hoping for success. But I think it's better like this. I was about to say that word because I get to understand and get more reasons for why am I doing this. I'm creating an arsenal of reasons for creating content and for expressing myself. Intrinsic reasons, not only success, extrinsic reasons. So that really helps with the motivation because that's exactly what I was missing. I was missing intrinsic motivation. I was just, as most people are, just addicted to instant gratification. If I didn't get success from something, I wouldn't do it again. So I was doing nothing for myself. Everything was for success. I was doing it for the results. So you can imagine how much enjoyment I had out of that. Because you can judge how much enjoyment I had out of that by imagining that I stopped. And I did. I did stop and I stopped doing stuff. And that's because I didn't get any enjoyment. The result, at some point, the result is not enough to sustain your creative output. So you stop doing everything if you have the privilege to be able to do that. But now I'm doing stuff again. It's funny because always in February, I've always started huge things in February. Everything. It's, I don't know why. I don't know what's with February that I'm starting. I think it's because spring is coming and I get more sunlight and I decide to do more interesting things in February. So yeah, it's because the weather becomes warmer and warmer, and I get a more positive outlook on the world because things are improving somewhat daily by getting hotter. So I start to do certain things, but I hope I'm gonna do this whole YouTube thing and this projects even when I don't feel like it, and even if I don't want to do it. By the time I get there, I hope that it's easy enough to just do every day without really thinking or without really having an issue with that. So it will feel, I'm banking on the idea that momentum really reduces all the friction, and you get so much momentum that it's kind of hard for you to stop. I'm banking on that idea. It's probably true. I don't know. It seems so. It seems like it's true. It seems like I don't even have to think. I don't even have to really. I don't feel any emotions, any anxiety in that sense. I don't feel any of those bad emotions whenever I need to create. I just do it because it's like, okay, I've done this 100 something times. I can do it one more time. So you build up on the momentum. But I've noticed when I stopped the meditation that it took me about 2 days to really get back into the meditation. But what I've learned from that is the fact that, see, I told you that videos like this turn out to be better at the end. So what I've noticed is that it took me 2 days to really go and start the first new meditation session of the whole thing, the new beginning of the habit. But I've learned that if you break it down, it's always like this. But if I break it down, I was thinking that I'm just going to do a 10-minute meditation. And I was like, no, let's do 3 of 5 minutes. And after 3 of 5 minutes in succession, I was back at being able to meditate even for an hour. In fact, that's exactly when I started the 1 hour meditation challenge. Well, 2 hours a day meditation challenge. And yeah, that's exactly how it started. Because even though I've lost the momentum for a week and a half of meditating every day. Once I did 3 meditations of 5 minutes, then I was back on the horse And I could take that decision to do a meditation challenge. And it was one of the best decisions I've done in a long time. I think, I really do think it, by the end of this, it will change my life. I really think that. I am way too lazy to move the camera. I don't know if I should or shouldn't move the camera to get another angle. I painted that wall, which is nice. I do feel good. I actually have another coffee, even though it's 11 o'clock at night. Another butter coffee, just to spice things up a bit. Feels wonderful. I had a lovely day. I actually went out to buy some brushes for painting. I felt like in the first meditation, because I did 2 hours of meditation today. I do it every day. The meditation, the 2 hours meditation. And I felt like I wanted to paint. And I just don't know where my brushes are. I have bought new ones. They're not expensive. They're like $10. But yeah, if I knew where my old brushes were, I had like 100 brushes, but I don't know where they are. And yeah, I had to buy new brushes, which is always nice. Using new materials, new brushes, new things always feels nice. It's always a pleasure to work with new things. They smell better. They don't have any damages. They don't have anything. But if you get used to certain stuff, it's hard to go back. But I have sold on Saturday, I'll sell the Apple Pencil and this microphone. And I'm sorry, just had like 5 apples. Well, 3 of them. 5 in total today. And I'm going to take a wireless microphone. So I don't have to really manage the wires around like I do right now. I said I'm not going to do this, but here I am, sitting behind the nicely painted wall, the newly painted wall. It does feel nice to just rise up and change the angle a bit. And once you start to not really get on a flow, on a dancing, rhythm, talking thing, you can just change the camera angle and get into a different rhythm. It just feels like you're doing something fresh, something new. Maybe it's not the perfect angle, but who cares? This is not a video that anyone will watch anyway. So if you're here, thank you. You are the people I didn't account for. You're the people who really watch this. And just because you are here, I'm just going to give you some beautiful things that I've learned today, which is fail fast and fail cheap. Like, I always think about how can I do things faster, cheaper, and test my thinking and whatever I'm doing, test it for cheap, if not get paid to test it. Like, for instance, if I want to learn how to talk in front of the camera better, I'm just going to start like 5 channels, 5 YouTube channels, and also add some other skills that you want to build. And maybe if you put them together, they become so much easier to learn because you are getting so much more benefits. Like, for instance, this is all about just emotional tracking and also seeing what progress I can make, looking back, and also what I was thinking, what I was doing that day, what were the things that were interesting. So if I ever want to go look back, like in 10 years, I can just go back and look at what I was doing and where I started and how it all started. So, and also how it went. So that's one of the ideas: fail fast and fail cheaply. And always try to make it super easy for you to succeed. Like the fact that I don't have to edit that much this video, it's easy to do. It only takes 5 to 10 minutes. As opposed to other people, I know I don't get the views that other people do, but I do build the skill. So if you spend hours just writing a script and then talking in front of the camera with a script, you never ever develop the skill to come up with something on the moment, in the moment. You don't come up with you don't get that passive talent, let's say. I'm thinking of MMOs. You don't get that passive of just going off the cuff and creating a script as you go. You don't develop your brain to be able to do something in real time. You have to spend hours on the script and then talk in front of the camera, and you never get good at one of them or the other, because talking from a script is way more different than talking in front of the camera. This whole skill of talking in front of the camera, it gets easier the more you do it. And of course, that's obvious. See, that small idea that I just put there, that's obvious. Now I have to really get and dig dig deeper. I'm just awkward today. I just have to dig for another idea that is not so obvious. Like the fact that whenever you have the script in front of you, you're focusing on the wrong thing, and you don't train your mind voice connection. You're trying to train it to see something and then talk. So it's much more different. You just become a parrot instead of a thinking, talking machine. You become a parrot of the person who wrote the script, which is still you, or if you have a script writer, anyway. So you're just a presenter. You're not even coming up with the idea and in the moment. I know it sucks whenever you come up with the idea, but the goal here in the moment, because it's not all as polished as always, but you are building this. If we took an analogy from computers, you are building RAM instead of building a lot of RAM and CPU and GPU, instead of just building memory. It's like whenever you're writing something, you're using different parts of your brain to do the writing, do the talking. That's good, but you're not using your whole entire being, your whole entire brain to understand a concept and break it down in real time. It's the difference between streaming and making edited videos. That's exactly what happens. Streaming takes a lot more skill from talking and really understanding a topic and being able to react very fast, do a lot of banter, a lot of making interesting subjects out of nothing, and going deep or lateral into an idea. But the other one is just you just spend hours on the script writing it and then you present it. And I think there is a small little fraction of people who can do the one, like if someone wrote a script and they spoke it, there are some people who can do that in front of the camera, and that's exactly what I want to do. I want to become better at just coming up with or remembering or going into my memory and really putting out there some ideas just like that, without needing to edit, without needing to script, without the need to work in the back end, to do a lot of processes in the back end, because I've already done expanded the bandwidth with which I am exploring and expanding on ideas in real time. So I have more bandwidth. That's interesting. It's an interesting way of thinking. This skill of talking in front of the camera without a script is expanding your bandwidth to be able to have better thinking, to have clearer ideas, and to also build the mind voice connection. See? Practice, baby. And it's also a lot more fun. Not only a lot more fun, but it becomes this interesting play. You are trying to explore the idea, even though you know exactly what your point is and what you are trying to explain. You know exactly what you want to explain, but it gets into this game of how do you get there? What are the best words and the best ideas, and covering your bases, like covering all the angles to make the idea a bit more interesting, a bit more alive. And if it happens in real time, that has a lot of weight to it, because we tend to really appreciate people who can do that and speak on a subject from, well, at least I do. At least I do. I tend to appreciate a lot people who can really go off on a topic and explain it properly from all the angles, because it is like an art form to be able to come up with great ideas, or even mediocre ideas like I do, to come up with interesting ideas on the spot and really not have an agenda just being prepared all the time. You're preparing for the unexpected. And I think that's enough. I'm just going to have another sip of coffee. I'm going to get closer to you, to look into your eyes, and see you tomorrow. Today was, oh, I forgot. Today was 22nd of February, 2024. This was Diary of a Friend, and bye bye.